Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Vantage Viewpoint podcast. Today, we are diving into behind the scenes look at reference checking, which is an essential yet often overlooked part of academic publishing. I have with me today Prashant Narekuli, who has led large scale project implementations in this space. Welcome back to this podcast, Prashant.
Hey, thanks, Sampath. Excited to be here. Reference checking may seem like a small detail, but it has a major impact on quality and discoverability in academic publishing.
Okay, like always, Prashant, let's start with the basics, right? For our listeners, what types of publications are most affected by reference checking?
Well, our work primarily supports the scholarly publishing group, basically academic books and journal articles. These are the places where you require excellent references, and they are highly reference dependent, and accuracy is critical for both readers as well as indexing systems. So scholarly publishing is where we work primarily.
Okay, now as a publisher, what do you think are the typical issues you would face when it comes to reference management, Prashant?
Well, on the top of my mind, I think there are three key challenges. The first being author discipline. Not all authors provide complete references for various reasons, but sometimes key details like DOI or journal names are missing. So that's the topmost challenge that we face. In addition to that, we have the time to market where both authors and publishers want rapid production timelines. And that's where reference quality ends up suffering because we have to do the same thing in a shorter period of time. And finally, the XML requirement where for proper archiving and online delivery, references need to be cross-linked to both in-text callouts as well as external databases. So I think all these three put together do face the key challenges in reference management.
Okay, Prashant. Also, being an engineering student myself, I've seen my fair share of STEM textbooks, and they have a lot of citations and references, and they keep refreshing every year. So I would imagine to keep up with the demand that the market has, uh, obviously implementation is quite important, right? So let's talk about the implementation now. How do these large scale reference checking projects usually work?
Well, there is a process to the entire workflow that we follow. We first of all, we granularly parse each reference to identify key citation components, perform lookups using authoritative sources like maybe Crossref, PubMed, and many others. But in the scholarly world, Crossref, PubMed are one of the key sources. We also retrieve complete metadata, including IDs and PMIDs wherever available. Then we automatically add URLs to citations for these identifiers. Enriching incomplete references also is needed using available metadata. And then we leave editorial comments in manuscripts to flag any discrepancies like any kind of author errors or missing references. Eventually, we ensure all references are cross-linked within the manuscript and flagging missing references that are cited in text but are not listed. That's also done. And maybe one of the last points would probably be on noting extra references that are listed but not cited. So this largely completes the entire process as part of the reference checking workflow.
Thanks for that, Prashant. As a general public who's out in the market to buy a textbook, I would not necessarily know that there's so much that happens in the background. Now that you have told me what happens, I believe that reference checking at this level sounds quite intense. especially when it comes to books and STEM content.
Yes, that is. But when it comes to very high volume citations, there is a lot of automation that also is involved. So STEM articles often have 50 or more references, and scholarly books may have hundreds, and these large MRWs would have thousands. So manually checking all of these at scale is not feasible, and that's where we do have a large number of automation uh, tools that we've developed in that's in place. So uh, for specifically for high volume citations, automation is the key.
Okay, now I believe that when you're quoting a citation or a reference, the quality obviously matters, right? So, what are the sources that you use to verify and retrieve the reference data?
So the supported databases for reference retrieval, our systems are integrated in quite a few major databases, major citation databases. I had mentioned earlier about Crossref and PubMed, which are largely a major source for all scholarly publishers. But in addition to that, we also uh, link to resources like the US Library of Congress, ISBN database, WorldCat database. So these sources help us validate, enrich, link citations accurately and efficiently.
Okay, Prashant. Now this tool, right, ARS Public Care, I believe it has all this, the automation and the database access to cross-check the references. This sounds really impressive. Now, is this entire process really automated?
Yeah, this citation checking has to be fully automated because of the scale of operations that we run in, especially when it comes to the article processing that happens in journals. So the automation primarily ensures not only speed, consistency, but also scalability in journals and also in books. Books, while the numbers would be small, the number of pages that get into books really require a whole lot of work. So yes, so we have a completely automated system, ARS Publicare, which helps in citation checking, and it still helps editors to review edge cases which are flagged off in the manuscript.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I learned that we have uh, delivered almost 150 million citations in our work so far, right? And I think that's a mind-boggling number if I have to look at it that way. It's great that we have numbers to back our claims as well. So it's clear that clean cross-link references are critical for credibility and discoverability. So do you have any closing thoughts for publishers who are considering automation, Prashant?
Yes. Apex has been for so many years processing on an average about 1.52 million pages of journal articles every year, and it's also compounded by almost an equal amount of pages that we process on the book side. So yes, so the key thoughts and takeaways over here to manage that amount of citations is that we start early, integrate reference checking into the production workflow at the start of the workflow itself of article processing. And then the automation doesn't just save time, but also elevates the quality of the final product. So from that perspective, yes, Apex is able to help publishers in managing their citations. And not only the citation with ARS Publicare, we are also able to manage the word file structuring as well as managing the images that come in the articles or the books while attaching the alt text automatically to improve the accessibility of that particular document.
Well said, Prashant. It really looks like ARS Public Care is the complete package. And for all our listeners, and especially publishers, if you have high volume citation and reference work, I would urge you to consider Apex CoVantage. And thanks for joining us today, Prashant, and giving our listeners an inside look at how large scale reference checking actually works.
Thanks, Sampath. And it's always been a pleasure to be on your show. Thanks.
Yeah, Prashant, thank you. Glad to have you here as well.